Thanks for letting me know that that stuff is flat. Mm-hmm. That stuff is flat. Indeed. That stuff is flat. Mhm. Thanks for that, Neil and deGrasse Tyson. The science is true, whether or not you believe it is. It's just gonna be true, and that's true. But how do you know if what you show is irrefutable, empirically proven by the scientific method? Or is it just a bunch of hogwash pseudoscience been cooked up by a bunch of charlatans in white lab coats? Could it be that right where our scope falls off and we can't see any further, that's when you guys come in and take advantage of that little place, that little threshold right there in outer space where all these fairy tales begin to take place? Well, you can't go see it, but we do, and so we can tell you what it is and how it appears to be. And even though gravity is about as debunked as something can be, besides, if it's something you cannot falsify, you should know that's what we say that will qualify as pseudo. Pseudo, you know that pseudo is fake and phony. It's just a bunch of baloney. It's not true, or it could be, but we never will know, cause it's unfalsifiable, which is about as pseudo as it gets by definition. I love you, baby.
I gotta get you a Victorian mustache cup. They used to make it so your mustache didn't get in your coffee. That's cute,
no way.
huh? We'll have to find one day, a Victorian mustache.
That's funny. The mustache cup. That's a good
Now, if I
idea.
ever see one, I'll know what it is.
How come this cup has a mustache on it?
Spoon or something? I don't know.
Your mustache.
Well, it looks just like a mustache, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Keeps your mustache out of your coffee, or keeps your coffee out of your mustache. I wonder if that's a real thing.
I think it is.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. When people still have mustaches, I guess they just realized it wasn't necessary. Or maybe it's just that guys like drinking the coffee out of their mustache later. It's disgusting. The mustache mug. It is funny. Mean mugging. What's that?
Oh, they do sell mustache cups. Yeah, it's real.
Is it a newer idea though?
No.
Huh. I'd never heard of that or seen that. The mustache mug.
So it's from the late 1800s.
It's from the 1800s.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Isn't that weird? I was gonna play a couple of songs I'm working on. There's a couple of songs I've been working on for years, and it's just like I want them to be good, but maybe it's just that I just can't do it right. I need somebody else to take my song and do something with it, because it never sounds quite how I want it to. It's so frustrating. Like this song. Traveling, let's see. Traveling to someplace that I got to go. It's somewhere far away from you. I'm far from anyone that we both know. It's just time to start again. Let go and just get my grip. Oops. Oh, back in touch with what's in front. What's in front of me? I got to. It's like, I got to let go and get my grip. Back in touch with what's in front of me. I got to pull myself together now. Someone that I have to be. Helen back here, it seemed like that far, but it was far enough for me. I never will forget the things at the time I didn't even see. And now it's all just as plain as day to me. I will lose myself and find everyone else. Trying to tie it all together and make sense of my life. I'm going to tie it together. I got to tie it all together. Tie it all together and make sense of this life and try keeping it together. I feel like we all could be a lot more satisfied with the way we live around each other. People, you know you got to travel sometimes to figure out if you're alright. I see you on the other side. Yeah, so long, goodbye, I'm calling. I just got to move on. I got to keep on traveling. Keep on traveling. Traveling to someplace that I got to go. Somewhere far away from you. Far from anyone that we both know. It's just time to start again. Let go and just get my grip. Back in touch with what's in front of me. I got to pull myself together now. Someone that I have to be. Hell and back didn't seem like that far, but it was far enough for me. I don't know. I can never play that song where I'm happy with it. So it just pisses me off. Traveling is someplace that I got to go. Somewhere away from you. Far from anyone that we both know. There's parts of the song that I like. I like the part where it's like, I never will forget the things that at the time I didn't even see. Now it's all just as plain as day to me. That just reminds me of a lot of things that, like, you know, like when you look back on it, you're like, oh, now I get it. Now that makes sense. Oh, pfft. So it's like you're never going to forget this shit that at the time when it was happening to you, you were totally oblivious to it. I mean, that just summarizes so much. It's like life. It just summarizes life. I'm so good at summarizing life. When I can get someone to sing it for me. Because I can't make it sound right. It just sounds like sloppy or dumb. But the message is strong. Papa was a rolling snowball. Wherever he lay, flat was his home. He rolled away one cold, cold day. You know he's out there rolling still down this hill. You know the further he rolled, the bigger he got. And now he's got so big that he could not stop. Oh, Papa. Yeah, Papa was a rolling snowball. Wherever he laid, flat was his home. He rolled away one cold, cold day. You know he's out there rolling still down this hill until he walks through the front door, melted into a puddle on the floor. Then Mama came in and mopped his ass up. Oh, Papa. Woo! Yeah, on the snowball too, rolling after you. Wherever you lay flat is your home. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. I guess that song still is better than my song. I was just kind of making fun of that song, or just turning that song into a different idea. Papa was a rolling snowball. The further he rolled, the bigger he got. Wherever he laid flat was his home. Wherever he laid his hat, flat was his home. Under the dome, he rolled away one cold, cold day. He's out there rolling still down this hill. The further he rolled, the bigger he got. Now he's gotten so big that he could not stop or roll on, Papa. Woo-hoo-hoo. Papa was a rolling snowball. Wherever he laid, flat was his home. He rolled away one cold, cold day. They say he's out there rolling still down this hill until he burst through the front door and melted into a puddle on the floor. Then Mama came in and mopped his ass up. Oh, Papa. I'm a snowball too, I'm just here rolling after you. Wherever you lay flat is your home. That stuff is flat, baby. It's like, that stuff is flat. You know that, like, edge of space jump that, what's his name, Baumgartner? Something Baumgartner. The Red Bull jumper guy. He goes up to the edge of space jump where you can see the curve of the earth. I mean, from the camera that's outside of the, or whatever, from one of the cameras you can see the curve of the earth when he's about to jump. But then from the inside the balloon that he's in, inside the the little cabin that he's in or whatever. You can see his silhouette or whatever, and then you see outside the hatch that he's about to jump out of, and you can see the horizon perfectly flat in the distance. So it's like, well, obviously one of the cameras has a wide-angle lens or a fisheye lens. Here's the thing about those wide-angle lens or fisheye lenses: they're gonna make the horizon, typically, like if the camera's moving around, you're gonna see that horizon fluctuate. You'll see. I mean, you might have seen these high-altitude balloons and the camera's jostling around, and it's like you can see the horizon fluctuated. It'll go convex, concave, flat, and it'll go between all the different. Like it won't remain, at one. It'll look like Earth is a sphere. Then it'll look like Earth is a donut. It'll like go the opposite direction, and then it'll settle out level and flat. The thing is, that's the effect you get from your wide-angle lens or your fisheye lens. But here's the thing that you should take note on that is that if a wide-angle lens or a fisheye lens is actually filming a huge sphere and with a curve, with a noticeable curve that can be seen, if it's filming a spherical horizon, a curved horizon, even when the camera's jostling around like that, you'll never see that curve go back up the other direction. That won't happen. That's an effect that's impossible to achieve with a curved horizon that's like in the shape of a globe or whatever. What you'll see is you might see it like widen a little bit or something, but it's never going to curve back the other direction. That's only an effect that you get when you have a perfectly flat horizon. I mean, it makes sense if you just think about it. If you're going to see it fluctuate the other direction, like we've all seen, if you pay close enough attention to these high altitude footage, balloons, some of them were done, deceptively with a fisheye lens, or some of them were done with just a GoPro that comes with like a wide angle or fisheye. I don't know which one it comes with, but you'll see the horizon will jostle back and forth between, when the camera's moving around, like you'll see it fluctuate. The horizon, so it'll be curved like it's a ball and it'll be curved like it's a donut. I mean, so it's just like, obviously the Earth isn't a donut. We're supposed to think it's a ball. The thing is, if that camera was filming a curved ball shape, like a curved horizon, you wouldn't see it fluctuate the other direction. That would be impossible. That's not an effect you would achieve with anything other than a perfectly flat horizon. That's a fact. You can go cash that one in. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. I mean, it makes sense too when you think about it. All you got to do is think about it. Why would it fluctuate the other way? It's like, because it's a wide angle or fisheye lens, so it's made to do that. But it's like, it's not going to make something that's spherical turn into a donut. It's not that extreme of an effect. You can't achieve that effect with anything other than a straight line. So right there, that proves that the Earth is flat. Well, I mean, whatever. At that elevation, that's what it proves. And we're supposed to believe that, like, there's no elevation any person can reach where you see the curve. Well, only the people that went to the moon, apparently, but that's all been debunked. I mean, by my standards, at least. I mean, that whole thing is just like such a fairy tale. Like, if you really pay attention to what each step of that, the Apollo, like what they had to do to get to the moon and back, so many just like high risk, just insane maneuvers that that would have been just utterly impossible to achieve perfectly the first time, unrehearsed, in an environment that people have never traveled through, and like 6 days out of our atmosphere, with 1960s technology, and like, you got to bring whatever they're doing to make 6 days worth of air for 3 people. I mean, I don't know what technology that is. That's pretty good shit, though. I mean, I guess submarines go down for that. I don't know how long they're down there for. I mean, how do you make air, anyways? Does anybody know how to make air? Oh, nobody watches my show, I forget. Well, I'd like to figure that out, nonetheless. There's some method of doing it, but that seems crazy, though. How do you make air? Why don't I know this? How do you make air? How is it done? Somebody left a comment on my video the other day when I was talking about it. They said there's some kind of candle they burn, which sounds crazy. I think that would eat the air up. Like you don't want to make light a flame in an area where there's limited air because it's going to eat the air up faster. So I don't know how that makes any sense, but I forget who said that. Add a Q&A sticker. Why is it telling me to do that? Don't tell me what to do to my show, YouTube. Gotta grab my drink. Papa was a rolling snowball. Wherever he lay flat was. Ooh, Papa was a rolling snowball. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's always saying things that are like detrimental to the model that he's supposed to be like upholding. I mean, it kind of seems like Neil deGrasse Tyson's only job is really just to play like, you know, controlled opposition against the flat Earth that was also probably a psyop as well. I mean, just the whole idea of like all of a sudden flat Earth just blows up and like Eric Dubay and Mark Sargent and these guys. I mean, maybe Eric Dubay. I don't know. None of these guys. I just feel like, for one thing, they're pushing that AE map, you know, and I just don't understand how that map really can. I don't know, man. It's the thing. It's like there's so much cognitive dissonance around all this. Really, I mean, I know that the Earth is flat. I mean, that's what we experience. That's what we know intuitively. But like, there's weird shit with like the sky, you know. It's like that's how the globe model was invented, is off of the sky, trying to understand the system that we exist in, you know, the night and day and the cycles and seasons, and it's like it was made off a really, you know, astute, like it was diligently put together, the globe model with observations of the sky, and it, you know, it does make sense on one hand, but like the idea that the Earth is a ball doesn't make sense really at all, because it's just silly. It just sounds silly, you know. It's just ridiculous, and it's spinning and orbiting. I mean, that's crazy. I would much rather believe that there's a magical sky phenomenon taking place over a flat planar Earth than to think that there's a magical ball Earth whizzing around. That's too hard to believe. There's no evidence of that down here on the ground. It's strictly just what we see in the sky, you know. Nobody really knows that the Earth is a ball. You'd have to go look at it in order to know that. And we don't see that. We don't experience that. I mean, we don't even feel any motion. We don't, you know, there's no rotation going on. And as far as like being able to like empirically like prove that with scientific, you know, measurements, and there's just calculations based off of what we see in the sky. They'll try to tell you that the Foucault pendulum is actually measuring the Earth's movement. But I don't know how that could possibly make any sense, because what the premise of that whole thing is, the Foucault pendulum is allegedly, you know, it's built in a way to where it's, yeah, I think it's moving back and forth. But the thing is, it's like it's made where it shows a precession, they call it, like where it's like the Earth is basically moving under it while it's going back and forth. So it shows that it's moved. It shows the Earth's movement basically. So we're supposed to believe that this pendulum, being separated from the Earth's movement somehow by the way it's designed, can show the Earth's movement under, like as it processes across this plane. But like, if that's something that you can do, which is to be, I mean, basically the idea is pretty simple. It's that you separate yourself from the Earth, and then you can see it move underneath you. But like, that's the only, like if that was something that could be done, like they say they're doing with the Foucault pendulum, then why isn't it something that can be done in any other instance? Like, you can't hover above the ground in a drone or a helicopter and see the Earth move underneath it, and like look at the thing, you know, basically like change location. You know, it'll just hover in the same spot. You know, we're supposed to think that that's impossible to separate from the motion of Earth. So why is it that you can do it with a Foucault pendulum? Like, where's the disconnect there? How come that's still pushed as being like proof of the Earth movement? I mean, isn't the premise of that whole thing based on the idea that you can somehow separate from the Earth's motion by not being connected to the Earth? Even though the Foucault pendulum is technically connected to the Earth, but I just don't. And that rabbit hole goes deep because people will say it's like latitude dependent, like wherever you're at latitude wise, you can figure out your latitude by using a Foucault pendulum. Apparently, I just I don't know. I think it's just that doesn't make sense to me that you could separate from the Earth's motion in that way, but not in any other way. Like you can't just hover above the Earth and have it be separated from the Earth's motion. Why can the Foucault pendulum do that? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm just talking to the wall. Nobody listens to me. There's all kinds of shit like that though with the globe model, where it's like the science isn't consistent. Like it doesn't. There are explanations for how things are happening. Like it doesn't. You try to follow the thought all the way through, and it always falls off. It's like the whole idea that there's curvature of the Earth that you can go witness, and it's like, well, but there's no consistent. It's all you can see too far consistently, and then they try to say, oh, it's because of atmospheric conditions and refraction, and it's like, so when there's bad conditions out, you can see further. I don't know, man. I mean, it's either that or the Earth is just how it looks. I mean, that's what it comes down to a lot of the times. Basically, it looks like that, but it's not that. You have to keep, just settling on, okay, well, I'll take your word for that. I don't know. I think that's what makes flat earthers, is just people realizing, I don't want to have to take somebody's word for it. Like, I want to know. I thought this would be easier to find out, like proof for this idea that we're living on a spinning ball. But it's not something that's very easy to prove, which is why there's more and more flat earthers. However, it's difficult to make a flat earth model with the sky included. I mean, there's people working on it now where it's like, if there really is two 24-hour suns, which I think there is, it makes sense to me, because the analemma shows us a figure 8. And that implies that what happens in the north happens in the south. It's like a, kind of a mirrored thing. I don't know why so many flat earthers are having a hard time accepting that. A lot of flat earthers will still say there's no 24-hour sun in the south. But I don't know how that would make sense. If we see the analemma, it shows us that it's like a fucking demonstration that what happens in the north happens in the south. So I don't know why people have such a hard time accepting that. And it's probably because not many people have seen it, which just seems weird, for real. Like, it's so hard to get there, versus the north. I think it's a lot easier to go see the 24-hour sun. It's a lot easier. And that's weird. That just means that it's not the same in the south. There's something else going on out there. Because the ice doesn't melt. In the north, when there's a 24-hour sun, you have all this humidity and like, it's like it supports life. Like, there's living things there. There's creatures and plants and people. And, the ice melts from the dark part of the year and it becomes humid and warm. But in Antarctica, you don't get any melting ice. There's nothing that's alive there. There's penguins, but the further inland you get, the more it's just like desolate. There's no bugs. There's nothing. And it's like the sun's there for, months in a row, just nonstop, but it doesn't create like any humidity. It's a completely opposite environment from the north. So there's a different phenomenon taking place out there somehow. I mean, it's